I always thought starting a fire was easy. It's not that easy. And I'm talking a natural fire here. A number of years ago, I had to take my son on a 4th grade trip to Sacramento, and we had to play like we were there in the 1700s, which means we had no lighters. I had to learn how to use a flint and a rock to start a fire. I was the fire guy. That was my responsibility for the 2 days that we lived like settlers in early America. It was a lot of fun, but I got to tell you, as I was learning how to start a fire with flint and rock, and I was watching YouTube, I was reading books, I was getting advice from people who could do this, and when I watched it, when I read about it, and I listened to it, it seemed easy. I thought, this is going to be easy. Look how easy that is. I just have to slap these two things together. It's going to create sparks. It's going to hit that cotton swab, and poof, I got flame. Well, the day I went out, after reading and listening, and I went out and tried it, within 5 minutes I started cussing. I couldn't believe this. It was impossible. It was not that easy. It took me 2 weeks to get to the point where I could actually do it, practicing it every day, and 6 weeks until I really felt confident of it. And that was practicing at it every single day. Starting a fire is not that easy. Now, once it's started, once you have a small flame into a fire, there's a tipping point where you'll lose control and that fire is going to consume. Now, today what I want to talk about is how do we start a fire on the inside? How do we light and ignite our passion? Well, here's the trick to it. It's the same way as starting a fire on the outside. You've got to have flint and you've got to have rock, and you've got to slap them two things together to create sparks, and you've got to have the right landing point for those sparks, and then you have to nurture it into a flame. So how do you do that? One, it's not easy. Here's the biggest mistake. Most people are going to sit and read about it, watch YouTube videos, go to TED Talks, and that's all they're going to ever do, because they're going to hope passion's just going to mysteriously show up on their doorstep. It's not. And the second mistake we make is the same one I did. I'm going to go out there and expect I'm going to master this thing in 5 minutes. It's not going to happen. You got to go out and practice it. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, but through that process of learning, as you make mistakes, you're going to figure it out. But you got to do it consistently, day in and day out. So here's the trick. Here's how you hit your flint to a piece of rock, which is your purpose and your passion. You want to slap them together? Get out and get involved. Get involved in your community, in a charity, a board, a nonprofit, a church. I don't care what it is. Get out and get involved. Stop waiting for your ducks to get in a row. It doesn't have to be right. You just have to get it going. Just get involved. Even if it's the wrong involvement, get involved, because through that process, you're learning how to strike your flint against the rock to create sparks. You've got to do that first. Once you do that, then you'll learn to aim. And then it's all downhill from there. Because what you want to do is get that flame into a fire. And at that tipping point, it becomes uncontrollable and it will consume you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where you want to be. That's the life of passion. My name is Ed Carcarey. I'd love to connect with you at edcarcarey.com. Find your passion, you'll find your life.